Hey friends, welcome back to She's in Her Apron. Today I'm sharing some of our family favorite recipes that are easy, quick, comforting, and pack a punch with flavor. Some of these use key ingredients we always keep stocked in our freezer. This first recipe made it into our meal rotation last year. This is creamy potato soup with Italian sausage. And this is one of the recipes why we always keep frozen spinach on hand. Over medium-high heat, we're gonna spray our pan with some cooking spray. Okay, we're gonna add our sausage in. We're gonna break it down, start cooking it up. And as it's browning, I will get going on the garlic and the onion. We're gonna need 1 cup of finely diced onion, 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. You're gonna add your diced onions and chopped garlic. And we're gonna let this cook for 3 to 4 minutes while that softens up. See all those bits at the bottom? That's gonna come up when we hit it with all the broths. That's where all the flavor is. So you're gonna need 1 1/2 pounds of either Yukon Gold or russet or red potatoes, and we're gonna cut those into 1-inch dices. After the 3 to 4 minutes with the onion and the garlic, then add in your potatoes. We're also gonna add some salt and pepper, and those will cook for another 3 to 4 minutes. If you're using dry white wine, do that, but we're using the white wine vinegar. Because we need 1/2 cup of dry white wine, we're gonna add a 1/4 cup of the white wine vinegar and a 1/4 cup of water. This smells so good. Okay, we're gonna drain our spinach to use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay this cheesecloth down and pour our spinach in, wrap it up in this cloth, just squeeze all that out. And then open it up and you've got all that spinach to use in your recipe. I did things a little backwards like Kimmy does. You add your flour in, then you put in your white wine so it helps thicken it, but that's fine. Stir it up really good, cook out the flour, and then we're gonna add our chicken stocks and broths anyway, so I'm fine. Look at that, we got all those good bits at the bottom off. Yum. You'll need a can of chicken broth and beef broth. You basically need 2 cups of those. Can of diced tomatoes, some sprigs of thyme. We're gonna let this simmer, and we're gonna have the cover slightly on, and it's gonna cook for 20 to 25 minutes. Ever so often, you wanna stir it so that the potatoes don't stick to the bottom. Next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna gather all the potatoes out and we're gonna mash them up and then put them back in this soup. It's okay if you grab any other bits of food. We'll just mash it up and get it back into the pot. And mash them down, not to a smooth consistency, just so they're in smaller chunks. Some are still kind of in big chunks, some are still mashed down. And then we're gonna add this now back to our soup. I did put in some more chicken stock because it cooked down a lot, evaporated a lot of it. So I probably put another cup or more in here. So now I'm gonna add my potatoes back in. We're gonna add our Parmesan cheese and 3/4 cup of that heavy whipping cream. When you add your cream in, let it cook for another 10 minutes. When we're ready to serve it, we'll take out those twigs of thyme. And then after this just incorporates, taste it. If it needs more salt or pepper or something else that you can think of, add that in. Look at that, it's so pretty. This is creamy potato Italian sausage soup. See, I still have some big chunks of potato and small chunks of potato. And that spinach is so good. I have a breadstick that I made earlier, and that's what we're having with this soup. Pull your slow cooker out because we're gonna make one of our kids' favorites, stovetop chicken casserole. And a key freezer ingredient that we use in this recipe is a bag of frozen green beans. This is an easy one to throw together. So in my crock pot, I put some chicken thighs. You can use chicken breasts, and I salt and peppered them. Next, we're gonna add 2 boxes of chicken stuffing mix on top. Then I mixed up together a can of cream of mushrooms, can of cream of celery soup, and a cup of sour cream. Then we're going to put that on top of our stuffing. Then grab a small package of frozen green beans and add them on. Put a cup of chicken stock on top so it gives it more flavor. You can cook this on low from anywhere from 6 to 8 hours or high for 4. And I'm gonna cook it on high for 4. All right, dinner is done. Chicken stovetop casserole, basically in the crock pot. I'm gonna give this a stir. Halfway through, I kind of poked at the middle and stuff, like the recipe said. Oh my goodness, this is so good. This is so flavorful and super easy to do in the crock pot, Instapot, or the oven. Yum, yum. Want something so decadent but easy to put together? Try this chicken with creamy bacon mushroom thyme sauce. As one of our side dishes, we're gonna make rice pilaf in the Instant Pot. For this recipe, I'm using chicken thighs. Use as many chicken thighs as you need. This recipe really does stretch. And we're gonna season both sides generously with salt, pepper, and Italian herb seasoning. Meanwhile, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Heat some oil in your skillet on medium-high heat. Add your chicken thighs skinned side down and cook for about 5 minutes until the skin gets nice and brown. Then we're going to transfer our chicken thighs skin side up to a foil-lined baking sheet. Bake for 20 minutes or until the chicken thighs are completely cooked through and no longer pink in the center. Turn your Instant Pot on saute and then add a half a tablespoon of butter and a half a tablespoon of shortening. To this, I usually add about a half a cup of orzo. We're going to lightly brown our orzo. Once it gets light brown, we want to stop the cooking process. And this is when I add 2.5 cups of chicken broth. To my pilaf, I love adding things like chopped mushrooms, any onions that I have, celery. I just love the flavor that it gives to the rice pilaf. Then add 1 cup of rice, and I'm using jasmine for this recipe. I had my Instant Pot set for 20 minutes. When it's done, just fluff up your rice. We're gonna make the yummy mushroom sauce. Add some oil to your skillet, and we're gonna saute our mushrooms. I'm using 6 ounces without salting them. This way we can get these mushrooms nice and caramelized. And we're gonna cook these on medium-high heat for about 3 minutes, trying only to flip them once. Add some chopped cooked bacon to the skillet, and this is 1 cup of heavy cream. Then salt it with 1/8 of a teaspoon. I didn't have any fresh thyme, so I just used my dry thyme. Stir and bring this to a boil. Once we get it to a boil, immediately reduce to simmer. And have it simmer for about 2 minutes on very low heat. This will help the flavors to blend and the sauce to reduce a bit. Give it a taste and see if it needs any other seasoning. Once they're done, add them back to the skillet and spoon the sauce and the mushroom mixture on top of the thighs. This is irresistible. It is so good, so decadent. It'll be a hit with the family. A go-to ingredient that I always keep in my freezer is frozen meatballs. So let's make an easy and quick meatball tortellini soup. To start this recipe off, you're gonna need 1/2 cup diced carrots, celery, and onion. 2 teaspoons of olive oil, heat on medium to high heat. Add your vegetables, and you'll cook these up until you sweat out your onion. Then you can add in a clove of minced garlic, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. Then add 8 cups of chicken stock or broth. Get that to a nice roiling boil, then drop your meatballs into the pot. You can use all beef. In today's recipe, I'm using Italian. Then reduce your heat to medium, and then just let it simmer away for about 15 to 20 minutes. You'll need a package of tortellini. I'm using a cheese tortellini. You can use the refrigerated or frozen type. We usually keep a bag of frozen tortellini on hand as well. We are just cooking the tortellini, and it takes about 4 to 5 minutes. Then drop in 2 cups of spinach, or if you have kale on hand, kale is just as yummy in this recipe. And then salt and pepper to taste. And it's that simple. And this is a very filling meal. My kids absolutely love it. For more meal ideas to help you get them ready in a snap, check out this video here where I share over 20 freezer foods to help you meal plan. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you soon. Bye.